What's up, everybody? Matt Modi here with Jedi Modi Sports Network, here to give you some NFL player props to hammer for the NFL Week 10 betting slate. If you're new to my channel, first of all, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe. But what I do with my NFL player props is I find plays that I like, but instead of taking them just at their main line, I juice up those numbers a little bit to get pretty juicy odds. And the success has been incredible. Now, recently, we're in a minor cold streak. Both my plays on Monday Night Football didn't hit. My play for Thursday Night Football did not hit as well. So for Thursday, I end the day 0-1, down 1 unit. We were so close to hitting it. I had DJ Moore, 60 plus receiving yards. He ended with 58. It's tough, goes down as an L nonetheless. But luckily, we have a ton of success to be able to withstand this minor cold streak. Overall, we are up 20 units, over 20 units on these NFL player props, and I started doing this in week 7. So it's been 3 weeks plus Thursday Night Football of doing this. I've only had 2 losing days, and they are the last 2. So hopefully we can get things to turn around for this one. Again, if you're not already, would appreciate it if you could subscribe. And then also like and comment on the video. Let me know if you're tailing, if you're fading, if there are plays that you like. And we can get into Sunday's slate. So the first play that we're going to go ahead and lock in here is Brandon Aiyuk, 100 plus receiving yards, plus 340 odds at Caesars. So the 49ers, it's been a little bit of a rough go of it recently. They have lost 3 straight after that scorching 5-0 start. But that loss of the 3 straight games coincided with them being a little bit banged up, missing Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams. Now I do think is the time, A, to buy back in on the 49ers, and B, their offense with Purdy specifically. Now, I'll admit I was close to going with Purdy passing yards, but I ended up settling on Brandon Aiyuk, who's been their best and most consistent receiver all year. Now, Deebo's awesome. He's a great player. He's been banged up, so he hasn't played the whole season. And he's also used in the rushing game. He's not just a typical line it up receiver, throw it to him type of receiver. Deebo's awesome. That's just not his game. That is Aiyuk's game. And he's great. On the year, he's eclipsed 100 plus receiving yards 3 times, including their most recent game against the Bengals before the bye, where the 49ers did not look that great on offense, but he still ended up with 109 receiving yards. Even with Deebo to be presumed to be back in this game, I'm not scared off because Aiyuk can blow up with Deebo in the lineup. This year, he's had receiving yards of 129 and 148. With Deebo in the lineup. If anything, having Deebo back in the lineup can help Aiyuk because the defense has to commit resources to stopping Deebo, which leaves a little bit better and more efficiency for Brandon Aiyuk. Now, the matchup against the Jags, their defense is good, especially analytically, but they do give up a lot of passing yards. If you look at analytically, they have the 4th best rush defense in the NFL, so it makes sense. Teams don't have a lot of success running the ball, so they opt to throw it a lot. And the Jags allow 263.5 passing yards allowed per game. That is ranked 30th, so 3rd worst in the NFL. And they also have the most pass attempts per game against them as well. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with the game script as well. Also has to do with the fact that the rush defense is very good and you can throw on them. If Trent Williams returns for the 49ers, I would like this one even more. As of right now, he missed practice on Wednesday. He was limited on Thursday. Friday's practice report hasn't come out at the time I'm recording this, so we will see what happens. I'm guessing he is going to play after missing some time, but we'll see. Props.cash also has Brandon Aiyuk in their projections to have a good game. They do have him just below the 100 number. So if you want to be a little bit safer, you can do 90 plus. I tried to get 100 plus. I try to get all these to be, all my plays to be plus 300 odds or above. Obviously, I'm only tracking whether he hits it or not. But if you wanted to be a little bit safer, you could do 90 plus. Moving on, second pick of the slate in the Giants versus Cowboys game. We're taking Tony Pollard, 100 plus rushing yards, plus 375 odds at Caesars. Now this play, you're going to need some Pepto. It's going to feel a little bit gross. This is the ultimate fade of recent events. Pollard, just in terms of his stats, has been downright bad for a 5-game stretch now. Here are his last 5 games in terms of rushing yards. 47, 29, 30, 53, and 51. Now, he's had some good receiving games in that stretch, so it's not like he's been totally shut down, but he hasn't been good. But despite that, his last 5 games, his over-under, just his main line, for this game is 70. You want to know why? Because the matchup and the expected game flow of this game. And overall, I love situations like this where you can basically fade the recent trends. People that have been following me along on my YouTube channel, just in general, know that I love the flip flop, the zigzag, whatever you want to call it, method. The general public is going to see his over under. They're going to see how much under and just like by how many yards. Like, it's been 5 straight and he hasn't even gone above 53, and his over under is at 70. Everybody's going to see that, and they're going to think that the books are dumb and the under is the obvious play. And those of you who know me, again, know I love fading situations like that. Sure, there are times where the books are dumb. More often than not, the books know more than you think, and they know what they're doing pricing his over-under this high. It's this high for a reason. Now, obviously, his over-under is at 70. We are taking him at 100 plus. So obviously, we're pumping it up where he needs to go 30 yards over his over-under, and I still think he can do that, even with how inefficient and bad he's been the past month, over a month. He's still getting the majority of everything in the Cowboys' backfield. All the work, all the snaps, all of the everything. The success just hasn't been there. Now the Cowboys' offensive line is getting healthier. They were banged up. And the matchup against the Giants, they're just an abomination. I think all of this changes against the Giants. The Cowboys are 17-point favorites, so they're presumably going to be leading the entire game, and they're probably going to be feeding Pollard just to see if they can get him going. The Giants give up 127.1 rushing yards per game. That's 25th in the NFL. They allow 4.6 yards per carry, which is 29th in the NFL. And then just looking at DVOA gives them the 28th ranked rushing defense. Pollard is going to have a good game on Sunday. He's going to bring us home, cashing this play for us. And then next up, our third and final pick of the evening, Saints versus Vikings. Rasheed Shaheed, 60-plus receiving yards, plus 390 odds at DraftKings. So as our last play of the slate, I'm picking one of the ultimate boomer bust receivers in Rasheed Shaheed to have a little bit of a boom game. I'm not necessarily calling 60 yards a boom, but compared to his over-under, it absolutely is. Now, I will admit, to get the negative out of the way first, the Vikings defense has admittedly been significantly better as the season has gone along. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Saints offense is great, but they pass the ball a lot. Derek Carr drops back to pass a ton. Now, Shaheed isn't the type of guy, old Michael Thomas, even current Michael Thomas, who's going to gobble up targets. That's not his game. What is his game is he is their preeminent deep ball receiver. Everybody loved that mic'd up clip a couple weeks ago where Carr went on the sideline, specifically sought out Rasheed Shaheed, told him to run, and that Derek Carr was going to hit him. And that's exactly what happened. That was 2 weeks ago against the Colts when Shaheed went off for 153 yards. Now, I'm not expecting that type of output again, but after a down week last week, I expect him to be up again this week. That's how things go with these deep ball receivers. They're low percentage throws. When they hit, they're magnificent. When they don't, he ends with 26 receiving yards, whatever it may be. His main line for this game is 32.5 receiving yards. And only once this year has he gone over that number and not hit 60 yards. And he hit exactly 33 in that game. So he's hovering right around it. Essentially, with Rasheed Shaheed, when he's on, he's really on. And I'm guessing for this specific game, the Saints aren't going to have a lot of success running the ball. They're probably going to continue to do what they've been doing and throw it a ton. They love drawing up these deep shots to Shaheed. We just have to hope that a couple hit. If they do, we are not easily, we are going to cash this 60-plus receiving yards for plus 390. And for what it's worth, I look at props.cash for all of this research. They project him to have 59 receiving yards. So if we can just get one more above their projection, we're cashing plus 390. Pretty juicy odds. The value's there. And that's it. 3 plays for you guys to lock in for NFL Sunday. If we get one of these 3 to cash, we will at least be profitable. If we get multiple of these to cash, we will be rich. So let's hope for that. And that's it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good one.